This is Good Day Atlanta at 7 a.m.
Right now on Good Day Atlanta.
I'm up there at that end, where the flames are highest on that end of the building down there.
A massive fire at a mixed-use complex in northeast Atlanta. Fire crews struggling to control the danger.
We had to switch operations from an offensive attack to a defensive attack.
Those who call the area home waking up in panic.
Next thing I know, I hear banging on the doors in my halls.
We are live with what you need to know about this 3-alarm fire. And good morning to you. I'm Caitlin Pratt. So glad you're here this Saturday morning. We're going to get to that breaking story shortly. First, though, let's get over to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Mary Mays for a check of your weekend weather. A soggy start, that's for sure.
Oh, it certainly is. And you can see it here on the camera. Downtown Atlanta, it's just kind of gloomy looking, but this can be comfortable if you don't have anything to do today. If you do have outdoor plans, this is the weather you're going to have to dress for. We've got temperatures also on the cooler side, upper 40s and low 50s as you step outside on this Saturday morning. Live Viper is showing some showers. It's pretty spotty north of 85 right now. However, a little bit more in terms of coverage to the south and east from Barnesville up through Madison into Athens. Once this cluster passes, you got some lighter rain on the way. However, more showers are expected as we head into the afternoon and into the evening. 40s and 50s this morning. If you're stepping outside, you're looking at 51 in Carrollton, 48 in Gainesville, and 46 in Covington. And your afternoon temps, well, low and mid 50s. You'll be in the 50s if you're heading to Sanford Stadium later today. It is going to be poncho weather if you're going to the stadium. So just a heads up there. Go Dogs, however, hoping things look good for them later on. And we'll talk more about when it'll dry out in just a few minutes. Caitlin?
We'll see you then, Mary. Now to that breaking news happening in northeast Atlanta. A massive fire forcing dozens of people from their apartments overnight. And just take a look at those flames. You can see how intense they are, shooting up into the sky from the building at Lavista and Cheshire Bridge Roads. Good Day's Lindsay Tuman is live there, has been covering this fire all morning long. So many people now, Lindsay, trying to figure out what's next.
It really is a devastating situation, Caitlin, and even though we haven't quite seen the sun come out yet, it is lighter out and you can get a better idea of this damage and the work still being done here. But yes, it's overwhelming, and just look at this ladder truck still trying to put out flames on the second floor, it looks like, in one of those apartment buildings. We're still seeing flames along the roof line as well. Just a really massive fire that they've been dealing with for more than 8 hours at this point, actively trying to put it out. And these residents who live here don't know if they have anything at all left behind.
It's a sight that people who live in the reserve at Lavista Walk apartments couldn't fully believe. Their homes fully up in flames. Jim lives in one of the units.
I'm pretty tough. I think I can handle most anything, but I have no idea what I'm going to do 2 hours from now, in the morning, tomorrow night.
He said at first he didn't realize how serious the situation was.
We came over here and picked something up around 9:30, I guess, and came back and, you know, we heard I did hear an alarm about an hour later, and then it got increasingly serious, and I came out and looked to see if anything was obvious, and there wasn't. I didn't smell smoke at that point.
Shortly after, he says he could hear more alarms, and it was clear the situation had gotten worse. Atlanta Fire Battalion Chief Dwayne Johnson Sr. said the fire was already strong when crews got on the scene. As
units began to make a push on the fire, we realized that it was a little bit past what we thought it was in void spaces. We had to switch operations from an offensive attack to a defensive attack.
He said at that point he made the call to evacuate the entire building while crews tried to get the flames under control. No one was hurt, but the damage was extensive.
You know, as firefighters, we love saving life and property, but this time I'm glad we saved all the lives. We couldn't do as much with the property.
And now those who lived in the building are trying to figure out what's next.
I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I really, honest to God, this is one of the few times in my life I don't have the slightest clue what I'm going to do tomorrow. But I'm sure I'll figure something out.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine that any of these units have much that's salvageable just by looking even on the outside at how much damage the water, the smoke, the fire that's traveled all the way from what we're seeing on the second level to the roof. And on the bottom floor, there are businesses and restaurants as well, and they're all going to have quite a bit to deal with as well. At this point, it's still not clear what exactly caused the fire or where exactly it started. And as you can see, these crews still have their hands full. They still have to get that investigation underway as well. Reporting live in Northeast Atlanta, I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Fast moving and fierce. All right, thanks for the late details, Lindsay. To Gwinnett County now. A man is behind bars in connection to a shooting near Georgia Gwinnett College earlier this week. Lawrenceville police have arrested 18-year-old Jamarian Lewis. He now faces assault and gun charges. Investigators say Lewis shot the victim, a tow truck driver, early Tuesday near the school's tennis courts, then drove away. The school was put on a soft lockdown for more than 3 hours. Police say the 35-year-old victim is still in the hospital. A family is demanding answers into the shooting deaths of 2 cousins in Forest Park. Police say someone shot and killed Jonathan Zuiga and Edwin Dominguez inside a car on Bartlett Road last Sunday. Officers initially believed the deaths were a result of a wreck. The Forest Park police, though, chief mentioned it's possibly a drug deal. Family says they don't believe that. Didn't want to show their faces because the gunman is still on the run, but here's what they had to say.
If they have any information to believe that that's true, to let us know. Just to come and be honest with us.
If you can help the investigation in Forest Park, contact investigators there. Activists from around the nation are headed to Atlanta to protest the $91 million training center for Atlanta police and first responders. A coalition called Block Cop City plans several days of action this weekend as they try to shut down construction at the site in the South River Forest. It's already about 40% complete, but protesters say they're going to be rallying at that site Monday.
It will culminate on the morning of Monday, November 13th, with a mass march and occupation of the construction site. We're choosing to use strategic nonviolence means.
There was a heavy police presence around the South River Forest last night. Our camera's showing a lot of law enforcement there. APD says, though, it does not discuss preparedness in cases like this. A sigh of relief related to the search for a fentanyl-laced letter headed to the Fulton County Elections Office. The Secretary of State's office says authorities recovered it. State officials confirmed yesterday it's been successfully intercepted, and they say the threat is over. The FBI notified state officials that U.S. postal inspectors located that letter. The Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections ordered a recount of all races in the November 7th general and special elections. TSA workers rallying at the world's busiest airport yesterday, calling on lawmakers to keep the government open.
Don't shut down our government. What?
TSA workers also want the Fund the TSA Act passed. It would guarantee pay during a shutdown. Right now, if the government does close, TSA workers still need to come to work. They aren't paid, though. During the last government shutdown, security lines at the airport grew exponentially. Experts say that could happen once again. All right, let's get you caught up on what's going on weather-wise. Get those umbrellas, get those ponchos. Here we go, rain.
Oh gosh, yes, and rain on the roads too. We have wet roads to deal with this morning, so slow it down. I know things look a little bit better here on Viper than they did even just an hour ago, but we've had a lot of rain overnight, so things are definitely a soggy mess out there. And if you have outdoor plans today, just keep that in mind. You're still going to need the rain jackets. Now, it is pretty spotty to the north and west, but south and east of the metro, we have some moderate rain and a little line here that stretches from Barnesville up through Madison, and these continue to push east toward Edenton. We're going to keep an eye on Viper throughout the day. Just make sure you're prepared. More showers are in the forecast. Temperatures 40s and 50s right now. It is cool in some spots. It's going to be a cool and wet day. Low and mid 50s are your expected highs. Here is the hour by hour forecast. You can see that little cluster of rain continues to push out, and then as we head into the midday hours, this rain is kind of focused along 20, and